Pro Wrestling Podcast. Listen up, wrestling fans.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
That's right, wrestling fans. There is so much to talk about, and what a week it has been. We are just coming out of WrestleMania week. We've got Raw and SmackDown to talk about, but other awesome stuff from WrestleMania weekend. The Ring of Honor show.
Yes.
We're not going to have time, but of course there was some Evolve stuff over the weekend. Tons of wrestling shows. What was that? Kaiju Big Battle.
Yes.
That was something that happened on the Flow Slam app and also over WrestleMania weekend. But we got to get into NXT Takeover Orlando, an awesome show. We're going to talk about that. But I think we got to start off. I mean, obviously we're going to talk WrestleMania, but I mean, how about the weekend and going into Monday that the Hardys had? Saturday night, fucking Ring of Honor defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles, losing them back to the Young Bucks.
Hellacious ladder match.
And then fucking another hellacious ladder match at WrestleMania with Sheamus and Cesaro and Anderson and Gallows,
Enzo and
Cass, and then they win the Raw Tag Team Championships. And then on Raw, they got to go out on Monday night and have a one-on-one match with Anderson and Gallows again and again. A hell of a match.
Good match.
What a weekend for the Hardys. The Hardys back in WWE. I haven't seen the what is it called? The Raw Talk or whatever.
Right.
From after Raw. I haven't seen that, but I guess on there they were just acting normally. No broken Matt Hardy or whatever.
You can kind of tell that by their body movements, too. That it's kind of awkward because it's like they're trying to be like the Hardy Boys Team Extreme again.
Right.
And
with
it's
the
like,
old music and everything.
Everyone's delete. And it's like, well, it's a weird mixture right now, but they're going to find their rhythm.
Yeah, and I thought Matt was still doing some of the stuff at WrestleMania, but I didn't notice it as much.
I feel like he
tweeted
out something, paraphrasing it, but he's like, "Our return home cured me or healed me of my whateverness." So
he is no longer broken because he is at home in the WWE.
Correct.
I see. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about the general consensus that people were saying on the internet. WrestleMania is too long. There's way too much.
I thought it was too short. I could have used more.
Well, that was kind of what my argument was going to be, is that, yes, it's a really long show, and you could maybe address the idea of, yeah, this is a really long fucking show. And that is an issue for some people, that it is too long between the regular card, the pre-show, all of that. But I would argue that they had to cut time from some of the matches in it, and that took away from a lot of the show for me. Like, I thought that ladder match could have went on longer. I thought the Raw 4-way women's match, I thought that could
felt very sudden at the end there.
It felt like they were just rushing everything. They had to get all their spots in, and even Bayley. Like, I thought it was weird. The champion Bayley, she comes out first.
Right?
That threw me off. And so, yeah, just that whole match. Hey, there's Oni Lorcan on 205 Live. To new listeners, thank you for checking out the show, by the way. We just kind of jumped. I don't even think we said our
jumped the gun here.
We didn't say our names. We didn't introduce ourselves. We're right into the wrestling talk.
Can I reinvent myself?
But maybe, okay, since we're already 5 minutes in, whatever. But, I mean, I'm Tommy Stryker. Taco's here.
What up?
Joe's here.
What's up?
So we're just excited to talk about WrestleMania and wrestling.
Yeah!
So, but yeah, to all the new listeners, we record this show Tuesday nights after SmackDown while 205 Live is on. Now, looking at Oni Lorcan versus Rich Swann here, it doesn't look like Oni Lorcan maybe is fitting the 205-pound limit, but he's beating the shit out of Rich Swann right now. Anyway, what were we talking about again?
Hardy's WrestleMania consensus.
Oh, and the
Divas match and how everything was short. Divas women's
match.
Excuse me.
Especially the Raw women's match. And then, it was great that they put the SmackDown women on the main card. It just felt strange having it be the semi-main event or whatever.
Yeah, because we completely forgot about. We're like, wait, we still got this to go, and
we just assumed they were skipping it. Honestly,
well, yeah, and then while they were out there doing it again, they were rushing through it. Mm-hmm. It felt like the crowd didn't care. It was like, oh well, that's just a popcorn match, and that's not a good spot to put those women in. They should be if you're gonna, first of all, if you're gonna throw 6 women in a match, have it be a featured match. If you're gonna put any match out at WrestleMania, have it be a featured match that should be a good match. Don't put something on WrestleMania if it's just thrown out there to give people a spot. I just feel like the women deserve better, and everybody deserves better. at WrestleMania. It's weird because as Oni Lorcan matches on, Joe holds his hand up in the air, just like Oni Lorcan. And I keep glancing over it because it's distracting. I think Joe has something to say, but no, he's exactly. But no, he's just doing the Oni Lorcan thing.
Kind of want to tickle him right now.
I would try, big boy.
That's the kind of behavior that I would encourage.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
So much.
I feel like the big problem with it though, because it was fucking long, and I don't know. We watching it live though, we had a lot of technical issues on WWE's end of it.
Yeah.
So that kind of extended the viewing time a lot too, and it was the traffic is really heavy during the Hardys and the Rollins and Triple H match too. But I feel like the big problem that WWE is facing is like they need to take advantage, especially at WrestleMania and SummerSlams and Survivor Series, is take advantage of your pre-show. I was, kind of excited that they actually did essentially swap the SmackDown women's match for the Ambrose and Corbin match.
Yeah.
That one being put on the pre-show. It's like, oh, that sucks for them, but at the same time, there's potential right there for them to make a pretty decent pre-WrestleMania show for everyone to want to tune into, but everyone skips it in hopes to hear that there was a good match to fast forward all the talking to maybe watch the match.
Right. If I'm watching the pre-show, it's after the fact, mostly because I work on Sundays. But I'm fast. It's because I heard there was a good match and I fast forward to it. Like I did that. Like I didn't see the IC match or the Andre Battle Royal, but I did go back and watch the Cruiserweight match because I was just curious about it.
We accidentally watched an Intercontinental match, if that's, anything there.
And I caught the Andre before they got over. It was, I will say this about the Andre the Giant.
Tell me about the Andre, because, I didn't get to see it.
It wasn't anything special, obviously, but the thing about it is it wasn't drawn out. It didn't take too long. Like, you got 30 men in the ring. They were just chucking them left and right. 1, 2, 1, 2. The only problem I have with it is the biggest advantage of the match having Braun Strowman and Big Show in it. They had everybody eliminate both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, what was the solution to my guy?
Yeah, the solution was for both Big Show and them to just get thrown out by like 20 dudes.
And that's kind of what they did on Monday Night Raw, too, was just everybody who got eliminated in the over-the-top rope challenge just ganged up even though they got eliminated or whatever. It came back and took him out. So
that's good, though, to start off your WrestleMania with the Andre the Giant Rumble thing. New Japan does it with the Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just a good way to get everyone out, get everyone warmed up, but, advertise it, advertise the main event, like Ambrose versus Corbin and stuff, like, oh, shit, this is pre-show? Like, shock, whoa.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. But again, I would argue if the Battle Royal, at the end of the day, they put Mojo over, like you said, they just kind of rushed through it and it didn't really matter.
I'm not mad at Mojo.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like I said, if that's what you're going to do with it, just kill it all together and give more time to the other matches. If you're going to treat it like it doesn't matter, then give more time to the stuff that does matter, and then take away time from stuff that doesn't matter, like the Miz getting 5 minutes of heat on John Cena for no fucking reason. Like you're just going to squash Miz and Maurice anyway. Why are we beating up John Cena for 5 minutes? Like why is this? Like I would much rather see 5 more minutes added to that women's match or any of the other important matches. Ladder match. But that's what I'm upset about.
There's a nice thing too that this WrestleMania we didn't have the fucking Rock coming out to put shit on fire.
Right.
There was no hocus pocus. Hey, fucking Hulk Hogan is back, and yay! Look at us talk for 10 minutes. There's none of that crazy shit, which I appreciate a lot. It was all the matches were right down the center. Fucking you got your A, B, C done. That was awesome. To me personally, it falls right back to the pre-show and all the stupid talking in between, like, oh, hey, fucking Lita's here, too, and let's go to this fucking dork talking to the crowd. And it's like, no, we're for WrestleMania. Let's watch some WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's a space of time that you could use for more matches.
They could bring another match to the pre-show. Just make it like Sunday Night Heat back in the day. It's like, fuck, I don't remember specifically what match it was, but it was like, Jerry Lynn against he won the light heavyweight championship back in the day, right before a big pay-per-view.
Oh,
but that was like a big main event. It made you want to watch, and we need to go back to that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I mean, if make the pre-show something you actually want to watch. I don't give a fuck about what Booker T or Jerry the King Lawler has to say
drunk Shawn
about
Michaels.
About upcoming matches on the show. I don't need to hear their predictions and Renee, going through the talking points and all of that. Just give us the matches. We know what the card's going to be.
The best thing was the cruiserweight on there, and honestly, I wish I didn't go back and rewatch it because it was nothing special.
Yeah. Well, and
nothing for me.
That was the thing is we did our predictions last week, and for the most part, a lot of that stuff kind of held up. The show was pretty predictable, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're telling good stories,
great show.
Yeah, if you're telling good stories, it should be predictable because we're anticipating this is the big match, this is the big moment, this is what we've came to see, and that's largely what WrestleMania was. So
that's why I'm happy that Mojo won the Andre though, because none of us thought him. He fucking won that thing on SmackDown. We all laughed at him like, oh, he's for sure getting eliminated. So it's WWE essentially telling us that they're still putting faith in the younger talent, which is great.
Well, let's talk about Mojo on SmackDown tonight for a little bit because he had that Zubaz suit on.
I'm not mad at that.
Dasha's out there with like this leather bra on outside of her.
Bejeweled.
Outside of her. I kept waiting for Tyler Breeze and Fandango to come in and start handing out fashion police tickets. But Mojo, he treated it seriously, and he was humbled by the moment or whatever, and then talked about wanting to party with Andre the Giant, which was a little bit weird since the guy died like 40 years ago.
But he could drink a whole barrel of beer to himself.
Did you know that? A whole
Fact.
I like how he gets all hyped up like he does, and he's like, "Can you feel it? Can you feel it, Dasha?" And she's like, "No, no, I can't." So it was nice to not have the robotic announcer, even though she did do the long stare off into the distance.
Well, after dealing with Mojo Rawley, I think you'd have a long distance stare off too.
All right, it's a crime that we're talking about Mojo Rawley before the other big stuff from WrestleMania. Let's go right to the main event. We'll kind of work everything else in as we go. But I don't think a lot of people were expecting The Undertaker and Roman Reigns to main event the show. But after all is said and done, I think we see why they main evented the show. Undertaker's last match, leaving his gimmicks in the ring after the match, and then of course all the wrestlers tweeting about the great career of the Undertaker. And
Get you right in the feelers.
And they didn't outright say it on Monday Night Raw. Like they left a plausible deniability when Michael Cole talked about it on Monday, but pretty much put it out there that The Undertaker is done. So how do you feel about the biggest heel in the company, Roman Reigns, beating The Undertaker, comes out on Monday? How about that crowd?
Oh,
The opening fucking 5-10 minutes of Monday Night Raw were fascinating.
Beautiful.
I thought it was gold.
Yeah, you can't even write that. The crowd just chanting Undertaker forever, and then it evolving into Roman sucks. And
Fuck
then
you, Roman.
And then fuck you, yeah. And then Roman comes out and just fucking stands around for a while.
Oh, just playing with them too, holding up the mic to his, every time he'd hold it up, the boos would get louder, he'd hold down, and you can kind of see him, point to his hand, like, I got you in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, he said that.
Fucking beautiful. It's like overnight I became a Roman Reigns fan, because it's just what we wanted. It's just like, this is what I tell people when they're like, you still watch this shit? It's like, yeah, name another, sport or event where you fucking boo someone. It's considered a cheer. It's just like, it's so great. And Roman had a great tweet about it too. He's like, I had the biggest pop out of the weekend. I could have gone on for another 15 minutes.
That's awesome.
It's just like he's doing everything right now, and it's just like, that's the Roman we need to see. This is the Roman we better fucking keep getting now. It's his yard. Deal with it.
Somebody said on Twitter, Brock Lesnar basically called out Roman for why did Roman not take the advantage for a free title shot? And I replied, because he's a fucking heel. Heels don't answer challenges. Right? They fucking back down. So I love that. Well, how about Braun coming out?
Yeah, exactly.
For Lesnar, getting in Lesnar's face, and then I didn't like how they had how Braun backed down. That of course that's like, oh fuck, don't be a heel. But again, it's
the heel face. They're putting Lesnar more as the face now, so it's getting that heat on Strowman, which he needs again.
And that's great because so the big rumor for WrestleMania next year, fucking. names, they always fucking fly out of my head at the last second. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. That's the rumored match that they're going to build to for next year's WrestleMania. But like you said, they're already framing Lesnar as a babyface, and fucking Roman's the biggest heel in the company. So I'm okay with that if they continue to put Roman with the right opponents. Baby faces. Put Roman up against baby faces and him as a heel.
Well, when we kind of got that, the 50 Shades of Roman, when he had that fucking gnarly beard growing out, kind of, saying,
right after
yes, sir, and
right
just
after his suspension,
being a smarmy little prick, we were digging him, so it's just, that's the Roman we need.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a lot of fun. I just hearing the booze.
But it was just a beautiful send off for Taker, though. So thank you, Taker. Fucking A, man.
That was what
legend.
Wonderful,
great career. Just phenomenal. I nothing. I can't say anything about it that hasn't been said.
Everything everybody's saying online. Yeah.
Lesnar Goldberg, that was pretty much what everybody expected. They did, of course, they went a little bit longer than they have in the past. Certainly not. They didn't go as long as WrestleMania 20, but they did just enough. It was perfect.
Did you see on the 10th suplex someone held up a picture of Ty Dillinger in the front row?
Yes, perfect. That was amazing. Lesnar getting the win, as we talked about. Sounds like Goldberg is done after Raw last night. He came out and basically said so much. He did the never say never thing, but basically confirming that he's been living in the gym and he's been a miserable son of a bitch for the past
I bet.
6 months. Just
training for what?
Trying to
a walk down that fucking ramp?
No, literally. And he said this he was on somebody's podcast last week. I want to say Jericho. Either Jericho or it might have been JR's. But he said, I'm fucking miserable. I'm in the gym all the time, and I'm lifting just for a look. I'm not doing cardio. I'm doing weights and calories and all this stuff just so he can look the part, not so he can actually wrestle the part. So that's why he's blown up and sweaty and fucking all that shit. So.
It worked, like looking back at this whole feud, now that, Goldberg's said, everything's done, everything's done with, thank God. It pushed Lesnar in that big baby face role, like we even said on the podcast before, Raw was lacking baby faces.
Yep.
So, looking back on it, not the greatest feud, not the greatest story ever, but, he did what the part-timer should be doing, coming in, getting that extra money, getting that bump for, the ratings bump, and then gone. So
I'm
glad it's over.
To do.
Exactly.
We briefly talked about the SmackDown women's match that was the, quote, co-headliner / popcorn match. But Naomi does get the very predictable win.
Could you imagine Naomi's entrance during the pre-show? Oh, man, terrible.
Yeah, it's probably good. It's probably good that they saved it for this late in the night because they could do the lights out thing and have the big cool entrance. But yeah, not much of a match. But coming out on Monday, or Tuesday, I should say, Naomi versus Alexa Bliss in the rematch. I thought that was a good match.
Good match.
And Naomi getting the credible win without any, six-pack
I think
shenanigans.
this could be a really good feud, too, between Naomi and Alexa Bliss. Just with that, she's just a nasty fucking heel, and she's just got the crowd behind her with the dance moves, unfortunately, but...
I like that submission she's doing. It's really cool, especially when
that was awesome.
She did the roll up on Alexa and just fucking locked into the submission instead. Fuck, man, she won me over. She got rid of those kicks and brought on that submission.
Yeah,
move,
those
awesome.
kicks sucked. Yeah, the new submission is awesome. And then after Alexa taps on SmackDown, she gives her this look like, "What, bitch?" So that was all hot. That was fire. I don't know what Becky Lynch was thinking with that hair at WrestleMania.
Really, I liked it.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is,
white girl with dreads. It doesn't work.
I like Becky Lynch, but that hair was again. Where's the fashion police?
I don't like Becky Lynch, and I thought the hair was terrible.
To each their own, I suppose. All right, we got to talk Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I think we do. It's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania, and. Folks, if you're new to the show, we do try as much as possible to keep it positive on this show because there's a million wrestling podcasts, and A lot of them are just people going through everything that happened on the show and shitting all over all of it. I don't want that. I don't want that to be this show. I'd like it to let's talk about the things that we like and just kind of keep it positive because there's so much stuff to talk about. Like I said, it's what we've been talking.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
But it is WrestleMania. I feel like this should be addressed. And then I don't know whatever happened on Tuesday with the SmackDown stuff, but Orton does get the win.
Disappointing.
What's supposed to be the end of the feud, but apparently it keeps going. I don't know, the snake.
Wow, that looks like a
yeah,
fucking.
Let's start off strong here.
We don't want to shit on everything, but fuck this match.
No, that's the thing is, we're gonna get a little sour here.
But the digitized snake that he had to like pause himself a couple times just so he didn't get too far.
And the snake's all like,
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked real bad.
And then
it looked like he was riding on a giant fucking sperm, dude. Like. It's like, really, Randy Orton? Are you okay to this?
Best way to describe it is you got to check out a movie called...
That's funny. You think that's funny? It's not.
You got to check out a movie called Boa vs. Python. Some of the best CG you'll ever see.
Oh, God.
You're nasty.
And then Bray Wyatt apparently having the powers to have a projector, project maggots and worms and whatnot into the ring. So the Bray Wyatt, we've talked about this. The Bray Wyatt character going the way of hocus pocus and magic has just been a complete failure and has ruined this whole story between, I mean, honestly, Orton and the fucking burning of the house and the crucifix and all that stuff. It's just stupid. I don't know.
I don't hate the hocus pocus shit, but I don't want it to be a fucking a projector above the ring, fucking putting on cockroaches and worms. And I want like the old fucking Undertaker's fucking levitating fucking ring, fucking put a burning snake or something, like
I'm thinking
crazy shit that's gonna scare you, haunt you in your fucking dreams.
Well,
bring out the boogeyman.
We got to remember this though too. We're all grown ass men now, so maybe to 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, maybe an 11, 12-year-old, maybe the Bray Wyatt stuff is a little scary. I don't know.
Yeah, if that was my kid, guess what? Not my kid anymore. You're staying at Walmart.
So, all right. Well, let's move.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
Rollins and Triple H. Again, very predictable. It was exactly what I thought it would be, the match itself. But, again, good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I actually went back and rewatched this match today.
Right on.
Because we did have those technical issues watching it. And, yeah, fuck, dude. Those two were great to watch. Triple H's entrance, awesome. Stephanie looked so fucking hot.
Yep.
And fucking, I liked Rollins' cheesy ass entrance too with the fucking torch. Everything was just so good. The crowd was so into it, and I think my only beef overall, everything was Rollins wrestling on Raw.
Well, there's a good point there. He did pretty much look fine on Raw.
They were even saying on Raw that, due to his appearance on WrestleMania, his performance at WrestleMania, he's been okay to clear.
Stupidest fucking reason I've ever heard in my life.
Especially when you got an ass whooping by Triple H, they weren't taking light on each other, but they lived up to the hype.
It was a slobber knocker.
Yeah, good match. Rollins gets the win. Now the big question, of course, is now that Rollins won, what happens? Triple H tends to go away after these things. Stephanie was selling the injury on Monday, and they haven't really, they've talked about, Vince McMahon came out on Monday, talked about the superstar shakeup, which, God, I hope they don't bring back the random gonculator like they had before when they did the drafts or whatever. But, so Vince McMahon came out and said Stephanie is out for the foreseeable future, basically. But so she could end up coming back next week, of course. Now that we have Angle as the general manager, though, I like that.
True. I
like that they've shown when they've previewed or whatever, when they show all the superstars up on the screen, it's been Angle and Daniel Bryan, and then without Shane or whatever. So I like the idea that it's just going to be Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle kind of, quote unquote, the at the helm or whatever.
Negotiating.
Right. So that part I'm interested in. I also like that they brought up some NXT guys before it, so we're not going to get random guys drafted from NXT or whatever. It's, it could be, Shinsuke Nakamura made his appearance on SmackDown Live.
What an appearance.
He made an appearance. He didn't wrestle. So here's the thing. Okay. Before we get to Nakamura, though, I feel like I was making a point on something else, so I don't want to get randomly. We're all over the place here, so fuck it.
We're just. Oh, okay, go for it.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna?
I was just saying we were at the Seth Rollins Triple H part.
Yeah, but Stephanie McMahon, the shakeup.
She's off. GM's shakeup.
So, I remember what I was saying.
There we go. Teamwork.
Where does this go for Seth Rollins? Yeah, he won the match, but is the heel authority still in power, or is Stephanie gone and it's just Kurt Angle now? I hope that's what it is, but I can totally see Stephanie being back next week and berating Angle for sweating through his suit and all this other, and making, quote, good decisions or whatever. So.
Angle was the one part of, well, I mean, there was a little bit, but I was disappointed that when he appeared, he made his little speech, but usually when you get a new general manager, they make a huge decision right away about the whatever championship match or anything. They always just go, we're going to do this because I'm here now, and we got nothing. It was just that.
I did like, so they go to do the cliche in the manager's office segment or whatever, which I hate the presentation of, but at least they put a little effort in there. Angle had like a box with his medals
American flags.
He was moving in, right? And the stuff that he did with the people in the office, that was entertaining. Yeah. So I did like that it was at least entertaining, even though it was cheesy as fuck.
It felt like we went back a few years, but for all the right reasons.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we complain about the presentation of a lot of stuff, but if it's entertaining, fuck it. It is what it is. So I did like that Angle was entertaining. So I'm not. Yeah. I just really hope they keep Stephanie away for a while. That would be very nice.
Or just have Kurt fucking stand up for himself.
Well, you see what that did to Mick Foley, but then again, Mick's performances weren't always, up to par either. I felt like he got into the yelling thing too much or whatever.
Really, he'd go super extreme, loud to coddling like a little baby.
You don't know what goes on in a Hell in a Cell, Joe.
And that's the thing is Mick had really, I think Mick was maybe directed to do some of the things that he did, because I listened to him on Jericho's podcast last week or whatever, the week before. It was basically right before he got fired, and he was talking about, like, remember the one really awesome thing where it was like Mick and Stephanie, and they were just talking about when she was a little girl, and that was like the best Mick Foley promo. That was the one thing that they went off on their own and did. Like they were like, Vince, let us do this. We want to do it this way. He's like, no, God damn it, do it this way. And so they just went off, did it on their own, and then Vince saw it. He's like, all right, we'll do it your way.
Right.
So that was the one good one. So I imagine all of the other ones where it was like way too much. It was like, no, Mick, you gotta yell and scream and get really into it. Oh, so.
And that's not Mick.
I could totally see that being the case and why that stuff ended up the way it was. So anyway, off on a tangent here. So let's talk about the tag match on Raw. Rollins teaming up with Finn Balor. I mean, come on. Awesome. Fucking goosebumps. Finn Balor's back. That was fun.
Yes, it definitely was fun. Obviously, we were all, everyone, the whole fucking country was predicting it, but, what a fucking way to bring him back in, tagging against the guy that injured him in a sense.
Tagging with the guy, yeah. That was it. That's interesting.
But also they rehab together too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I need to see, this is where WWE would benefit from being more sports-like. And granted, I didn't see Raw Talk, but this would have been a good spot to have somebody go interview Finn. Hell, even put it up online and be like, how did you feel about teaming up with the guy that injured you and da-da-da-da-da? And he could say, well, it's Triple H and his guys and I see what he did and da-da-da. He could cut that promo or tell that story. So, and let's wait and see. They could do that next week, too. So,
and just realize what 4 people are standing in that ring right now fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to see the evolution of where we are now compared to just 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, there's that photo out there with all of them with holding the NXT championships, and it's just like, NXT does work.
Yep. And the crowd just chanting NXT.
Yep.
Well, NXT does work as a place for guys to just come in and get over. All of those guys weren't trained at the performance center.
No.
So in that aspect, NXT doesn't work. The indie scene works.
It also gets them used to that WWE lifestyle, the ring, the camera work, the refs. A lot of guys come in and WWE's it's a whole different beast, and they just can't translate to it. So that NXT, good stepping stone for them. And
I love you, Taco, but I am so tired of the camera angles, focus bullshit. Like, okay, when I went to Raw the last time for the Slammies like a year or so ago, it stood out to me so much that the hard camera's on one side, there's two camera guys at ringside that are also on the same side as the hard cam, and and they're always missing shit that's on the other side of the ring. Just put camera guys at ringside and fucking tape it. I get it. It's pro wrestling. It's fake, and you can wrestle to the hard cam.
Predetermined.
You know what else you can do? You can just have guys go out there and wrestle, and you can shoot it with cameras and put guys around the ring. Fucking look at New Japan. There's guys all over the place outside the ring, and it's awesome. It looks like it's like there's press there. There's people with numbers on their shirts because they're just taking photos for magazines and stuff. It looks like a fucking sport. Why can't you do that? Who cares if there's fucking cameramen at ringside? I don't understand this obsession. And it's like, it's too, like whenever I watch WWE, I'm sorry, I got off on a rant.
No, go for it, man. Go.
They'll switch from the hard cam to one of the cameramen at ringside, and if cameraman on the other side is in the shot, you can see somebody's yelling at him, "Get out of the fucking shot!" And he scurries out of the way because God forbid you have a cameraman in the shot.
Oh God!
So
it's just like watch
make movies.
Watch a Bellator or UFC fight. There's a fucking cage there, and you still see cameramen surrounded by the whole goddamn thing.
That's my point, and I get it. Sometimes, I mean, cameramen can get in the way. Yes, I understand. That could be
Shit
a problem.
Happens. Show goes on.
Exactly. That's not.
But that's my point though. Is a lot of these indie guys, they're there to think about what's in the ring, not that fucking camera.
Exactly.
And facing the camera.
It is a valid excuse that they're doing that because they do it the way they do. My argument is, don't do it that way.
Right.
I agree.
And again, there's other reasons to go through a developmental. I mean, we talk about how every match on TV does the same typical TV spots, and so pretty much every match feels the same. So you got to teach them how to do that WWE TV match. So again, I would argue, don't have every match be the fucking same. But again,
just looking at the Hardys match on Raw, it felt like a Raw match. How much have they been fucking tearing it up? And it was all like, oh, yay, they back, got their spots at the end.
Yep, exactly. Back doing TV matches. And I get the argument as to why if you make the Raw and SmackDown TV matches the same as awesome pay-per-view matches, then the awesome pay-per-view matches aren't as awesome. So that's why they do it. But again, I feel like there is a way you can do TV matches that make them feel special on their own, but at the same time not as special as pay-per-view matches.
Even just focusing in on a certain match of the night where it just happens to be that, awesome match of the night. Just give us a little something to give us a taste of what we could see at the pay-per-views.
Yeah, you bitches.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
Okay, let's move along here. We should. No, I've talked enough about Cena, Nikki, Miz, Maurice. Although we should talk about what happened on SmackDown tonight, because Miz and Maurice coming out as Cena and Nikki was so
beautiful.
Hot, on fire, fucking great. Miz killed it. I almost said Nikki, but Maurice doing her Nikki impression. Miz was spot on, awesome. Goes to call out Cena or whatever, or goes to leave, and then out comes Shinsuke Nakamura. The hair was standing up on my arm. I showed you guys. It was so awesome. And then
just a great appearance.
He made an appearance, and then he left, and that was it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very disappointing.
Lots of action.
I was very surprised that the crowd did not shit on the next match, which was Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin in a Orlando street fight.
But you could tell the air had been taken out of that arena.
Well, but the thing is, though, is Ambrose and Corbin in the street fight really held the crowd with the street fight kind of gimmicks. So props to them for keeping the crowd into it. But because I was like, God, the crowd is just gonna shit all over the. I mean, if they would have just went out there and had a regular this was not your regular TV match because it was a street fight, so they were going crazy and
Orlando
going all over the place. And I should give them credit because they did not call it an Orlando street fight, which is something that WWE does. So I'm just kind of making fun of usual WWE verbiage, and they didn't do it here. So I shouldn't give them shit. But But yeah, credit to Ambrose and Corbin for holding the crowd. And here's the thing: in retrospect, yeah, I was upset at it at the time, but now you can build to a Miz Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'm not
match.
mad at that though. It's something new. It's something new for Shinsuke too. Even when it happened, Joe said at least cut a promo or something, and I would have even liked for him just to have pull out a microphone, just say "Strong Style has arrived," and just like
right?
just lure you in even more. But it was just hey, and then music again. And
It was odd, yeah.
So lackluster, and it felt like his NXT career.
I feel like there should have been, and maybe they fucked it up. Maybe there should have been a shot of just Miz and Maurice running away or something.
Yeah, because it's like when he was in the ring, it's like, okay, where did Miz and Maurice go? Like,
right.
are they doing this thing? I was like happy for Miz to do this with Shinsuke.
If they would have just shown him powdering, getting the fuck out of there, that would have been at least like, oh well, I guess we're not going to do this. So, but they didn't do that. It just felt like I'm going to come out. That's it. Da da da.
Just a stare down or something. It's just. Yeah, I almost would rather not had the debut tonight on him. Like,
I'm not mad at the debut. It was still awesome. It just, it just felt odd that there was just nothing to it.
No action.
Now, here's the big question, though. Does Shinsuke get moved to Raw in the Superstar shakeup, or do they keep him on SmackDown? It depends. What do you guys think?
I hope not.
After what AJ Styles said on SmackDown, that he wants to stay on SmackDown, that furthers my want for Shinsuke to stay on fucking SmackDown, because SummerSlam's around the corner, WWE.
Yeah, that would
But
be.
at the same time, that's might be a thing you want to say for a year from now, too, at WrestleMania.
That'd be a hell of a WrestleMania match, SummerSlam
New
as well.
Orleans, fucking Shinsuke against
Any
AJ.
kind of title involved, it don't matter.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that's a main event star show right there. That's fucking slap it on a pay-per-view. People will buy that.
Well, since we're talking AJ,
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
how about AJ and Shane jerking the curtain on the main show of WrestleMania, the opening match on the big card, the biggest show of the year, and I can't find.
Wasn't it some kind of like ride?
It was a big show.
I get it.
I put out on Twitter, don't just stop saying Ultimate Thrill Ride. Just stop. I can't even.
It's not what your mom said.
And you know what?
My drunk ass last week calling in had a fucking note card in front of me saying the biggest thrill ride of them all, WrestleMania.
So, I'm actually glad that they toned it down during WrestleMania. You probably could have played the Ultimate Thrill Ride drinking game, because I know Big E put the tweet out before WrestleMania. Like, if you're gonna play Ultimate Thrill Ride drinking game, you're probably gonna end up with your stomach pumped. But they calmed it down during the main show. Thank God.
Probably not to have a bunch of alcohol deaths.
Probably that. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that. Stop saying Ultimate Thrill Ride. People are gonna die. But let's talk AJ and Shane. I'm impressed is a strong word, but
Pleasantly surprised.
I feel like Shane put in some work, made it so that, and I don't know this, but my speculation is that Shane said, you know what, I'm known as the stump bump guy, that's all I can do. I want to go out and have a good match at WrestleMania. And he put in some effort, and yeah, they did the stunt stuff too, but it was good. It was fun. It was WrestleMania worthy, in my opinion. I thought it was worth what they did.
It was a good way to kick off WrestleMania. It was like, oh, we're starting off with this right away. Cool. And impressive. Yeah, it's a very stretch, but happy. Yeah, happy with how the match came out.
It was probably a 2.5 to 3 star match tops, but it was that's
you could tell
that's
Shane
good.
McMahon,
Especially to start the show.
They were he could tell he definitely went out there to sharpen up his some ring skill a little bit, and there's a few moves in there that was kind of gimme moves a little bit, but like we were saying last week, it shows you how good AJ Styles is, that they were able to put on a phenomenal show together and fucking get each other's respect, so it's great way to start WrestleMania there.
Yeah, and I like Shane's mixing in some submission holds and doing some shit here and there. Got that missed that big shooting star. That was cool.
Yeah.
So
he hit his knees so fucking hard on the mat.
Yeah, he did.
He felt that yet later.
Yeah. So let's talk Owens and Jericho. That one, another one, pretty predictable. With Owens getting the United States Championship from Jericho. Jericho going on tour any minute now.
It's gonna happen, man.
But I did like Jericho saying, what did he say on Raw? Now I forget. Shit. Help me out here, guys. Well, he gets his rematch at Payback. And says he put Kevin Owens' fingertip on the list because he had that fingertip save from the code breaker or whatever. So good match. I enjoyed it. He got the knees up three times, and they trade walls at Jericho. Kevin Owens hits the power bomb, and then the power bomb on the apron is the final dagger. God, that looked awful.
That one was brutal.
I'm happy that's how he ended the match.
Even if that wasn't, I'm sure Jericho's just like, just take it home. You got to get your shoulders on the flat part of the apron when you're taking those bombs on the apron.
They never do.
Oofta. That taking them on the side of the corner of the apron always just fucking kills me a bit. Bayley versus Nia versus Sasha versus Charlotte. We touched on it earlier. How it just felt odd. Bayley coming out first or whatever. Right. But
I think Taco was saying that all freaking night.
A lot of champs were coming out first.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe it was a thing. Well, Owens. I don't remember if he came out first or not. So I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. I did like. Because Charlotte is kind of the ace of the Raw women's division, in my opinion. So that kind of showcased her a little bit, having her come out last or whatever. Again, I thought this was a good match, but it was hurt by the fact that it just felt rushed. They rushed to get Nia Jax eliminated early, which, I kind of liked.
Which is, what the fuck was the point in putting her in the match?
Well, exactly. It was just a way to get her out of the match right away that she never should have been.
Keeps her as a threat on Raw, showing that the women's division needs to team up just to take this brought something else. This brought out.
So yeah, they get her out right away.
After that, though, was like when it started to feel really quick afterwards.
Randy Orton,
right?
Live after Mania.
Right, because I feel like they had a lot of stuff that they wanted to do and to tell a story, and they just didn't have enough time to do it, so they were just rushing everything. Charlotte ended up eliminating Sasha Banks after Banks hit They did the spot where Charlotte was supposed to rip the turnbuckle pad off, but it didn't come all the way off, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were watching, and when she hit it, I was like, why did she lose? They're like, she ripped it off, dude. I was like, oh, yeah.
So that was the thing is she ripped part of the turnbuckle pad off, and it didn't come all the way off, but they were still doing the moves as if the turnbuckle pad was off. So at one point, somebody hits their knees on the turnbuckle, and that causes a thing. It causes Sasha Banks to get eliminated. But at the end of the day, they told the story that I wanted to see as a fan, Bayley getting the clean win. So I enjoyed that.
Fuck yeah, pleasant surprise.
Well, good on it for Bayley. She deserves it. I mean, and we just don't need to see Charlotte Sasha over and over again. And you put the belt on one of those two, we always expect to see the other one right behind them.
So follow up on Raw, that was a bit interesting. Bayley, Sasha teaming up with Dana Brooke, which just felt awkward as fuck. Even when they win the match, and then after when they're celebrating, it's like Bayley and Sasha are celebrating, and Dana Brooke's kind of like, yeah, hey guys, can I celebrate too? And
Me too. And
they're like, no, get away. So that felt awkward. We had Emma finally. I was really hoping for some new music, and it was still kind of the old music / old music for Emma. So
it was the heel old music,
right? But
I don't hate on it.
I was hoping for something completely different, but whatever.
Better than Mickey James,
right? There's that. Emma teaming up with Nia and Charlotte after the match. Nia beating the hell out of Charlotte. That was interesting. Emma getting the fuck out of there. So we got some interesting stories going forward in the Raw women's division. Maybe I don't know if they're planning on turning Charlotte or anything like that. That seems like would not be a good move, but it looks like they're going to build up to. Maybe it's just a TV thing between Nia and Charlotte.
Well, and it's weird to think how much competition is added just by putting Emma in, and just those four core right there. Raw's looking good.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
We kind of talked about the ladder match with the Hardys making the debut. I loved the fucking New Day coming out.
Yep.
They're in their wrestling gear. They're like, we got another team. Who's it gonna? Who? But and the crowd immediately starts chanting, delete, delete, delete. And of course, the fucking Hardy symbol comes up and spinning in the old music and everything.
Yep.
And that was just so fun. A very good match. Again, felt like it was rushed due to taking time or just having too much show. They had too many matches, too much show. They should have cut some stuff out, I think. Or put more stuff, or put more on the pre-show, just like we were talking about.
Well, and again, 2 fucking ladder matches in one weekend, considering the ladder match they went through at Supercard of Honor.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here shortly.
Just absolutely fantastic. Everybody had their fun. You could see it. You could see it in both of their eyes. Like, this is their home, and they could not believe that reaction that they got. I'm speechless.
It makes you realize how badly Impact fucked up with their talent.
Yeah, this is a big
Their talent
big
is
point.
running WWE right now. They've, look at TNA's roster in the last couple, not so much the last 5 years, but they had, probably the best roster ever for a wrestling promotion. And did absolutely jack shit with them, and now WWE's just scooping them up, and we're essentially watching Impact now, but good. They're doing everything right with the right stars. Hardy's cleaned up, and they worked their way back to the WWE. It's such a beautiful fucking story seeing this stuff. I'm happy to see all these guys' success that they're getting in the WWE ring, because that's the A product, and we're getting A stars.
Yeah, I ranted to you guys earlier as we were watching the Hardys and stuff, and when we talk about that match in a little bit, I'll rant about the Hardys in TNA myself, but I'll save that for later in the podcast. I want to talk a little bit about the other stuff that happened on Raw. We had the Revival debut against the New Day. Nice to see the New Day back in the ring. Does the New Day losing to the Revival hurt the New Day?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
And I thought it was the perfect way to bring him in. Minus the fact that I think it was Taco that brought this up, but they should have just attacked somebody. It shouldn't have been a debut. They should have just showed up and kicked the shit out of New Day for absolutely no reason besides the fact that they're number one. They're the top guys. Other than that, their debut was awesome. The crowd was into it, and I like the fact that it was a competitive match. It wasn't a dominating match for either team.
I like it because the Revival are heels, and so they came in, they had their little match, they had the match, and it was good. New Day makes their little comeback, but then they won in like such a Revival way,
right,
with a sneaky little thing here, hitting Shatter Machine out of nowhere. So I thought that was what made it cool.
I just didn't like the post-match beatdown, because it was not because of like them or the situation, it's just because of the crowd. It's just, that's the fucking insane crowd where they're going to like something like that. So it just kind of sends the wrong message to, a lot of the WWE universe that might not know who the Revival is.
But I think to the fans watching at home that are not familiar with Revival, when they see them beating the shit out of Kofi Kingston after the match, it's like, okay, these guys are the bad guys. I get one. When he fucking comes out and just shoves the pop cycle over,
yes.
that was so cool. I'm like, yeah, fuck, I say yeah.
But that's the right way to do a fucking good debut especially against someone you want to be, top talent.
Hashtag top guys.
Top guys. They came out. They beat the longest reigning tag champs. And then you look at the debuts on SmackDown, and it was very lackluster for both of them.
Shinsuke Nakamura. That was not lackluster.
Can I just go back to the ladder match really fast?
Yes.
The team selling the Hardys. That one shot they show of all three of the teams after the Hardys music hit. Enzo's losing his shit in the ring.
Yeah, that was
everybody.
good.
I thought everybody sold it well. I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And Sheamus had this look on his face like, what the fuck? Who let these assholes in here? It's supposed to be me and Cesaro winning the titles. Like he looked like he was genuinely upset.
This is drug-free zone, right?
So, yeah, that was awesome. I feel like I had one more thing on the Revival, and it slipped away now, but I remember what it was. Did they add some weird rap rock element to
there's
their
definitely
music.
some extra music
Yes.
thing that I was not cool
That's
with.
got to go. Go back to
Yeah.
just the fucking country
Just
stuff.
say yeah.
Say yeah. Yeah, that's all. We don't need to.
That's the best way to, like, their music's playing. I was like, they did.
Yeah,
They
get
fucked with
get
it.
the rapping out of there. That's not what that's supposed to be. Although I guess rapping in country music is kind of a thing now.
Oh, my God. Did you hear
Have you
who's going
heard
on
what
tour?
it's called? Hick hop.
Oh God.
Did you hear who's going on tour?
No.
Get this. Florida Georgia Line, Backstreet Boys, and Nelly. Who the fuck's going to this?
We had enough of you talking that flim flam, that booty chatter.
Where's That's Not What This Show Is About? That's what needs to get played right now. There it is.
That's not what this show's about.
We are not to hick hop. Stop it. Just stop. That's no. Okay. I'm gonna get a hold of myself here. Get that hick hop out of the fucking revival music. That's enough of that. Oh my God. There's one more thing I know I wanted to speak about. Fucking Jinder had a match with Zayn. Zayn got a win over Jinder. That was nice.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I swear to God, there was one more thing on. Where the fuck did it go? There was something on Raw. God damn it. Oh, well, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Enzo and Cass. I do want to talk Cesaro and Sheamus. Remember back when Cesaro and Sheamus first got together and they're fighting all the time? And I was like, I like the idea of a story that evolves into these guys really getting along and being an awesome tag team. And I am loving Cesaro and Sheamus. The kilts now and the half suit, half kilt thing.
God, what do they call them? Professional fighters or something like that is their big advertisement.
Yeah, that's awesome. They do need a good tag team name would be nice, but I'm not. It doesn't bother
Sheamus
me.
and Cesaro. I'm cool with that.
Cesaro.
So I like that they got the win here in the number one contender spot. So we'll get a match between them and the Hardys, and I'm kind of rooting for Cesaro and Sheamus here because I want WWE to retell the broken story. But maybe in their own way, in a new way, something that's completely different from what they did in TNA, but just as awesome.
I'm not feeling the Matt Hardy in this weird limbo of trying to be the broken character, but then trying to be Team Extreme at the same time. Like,
right? It's very odd. It's a weird spot, and I can't blame him for what does he got to do? Because he's all of his shit's over, but he can't necessarily do it. So they just got to find a new way for him to be able to do that stuff. So.
But they got him back at the dance. But that's what I was honestly like. Raw overall to me, I felt was kind of disappointing. It just having Hardys against fucking Gallows and Anderson, like. That should have been a great fucking match, but it was, Hardy showcase, and
yeah, I was okay with it.
It was
as far as
good,
TV
but
matches
it was just a quick one and done kind of. They got fucking the Roman Reigns and Hardy's thing right the fuck out of the way right at the beginning of the show. So I was like, oh man, that was like the two biggest things everyone was excited for out of WrestleMania.
I was hot for it though, because the Roman intro or the Roman beginning of Raw was hot, and then right into the Hardys, and I actually thought the match itself. For your standard TV match was good.
I'm not saying it was a bad match,
and it was hard hitting too. And I was like, "Fuck these guys! What a fucking weekend these guys have been through." That was my headline coming out.
So that's kind of what I was just kind of disappointed was just it was just one and done with Hardy's Reigns and get them off the TV right away. It was like. Fuck! I feel like we could have been still talking about Hardy's and the club going at it today, and.
Oh, I was just waiting until you were done.
Go for
it. Wasn't there a cruiserweight match? I feel like on Raw.
Yeah. I just kind of skipped over it because there wasn't much to it. But go ahead.
I was just going to point. I'm really impressed with Mustafa Ali's work.
That's a good point because we haven't talked about him a lot. He's been great on 205 Live. Had a great match with Neville.
He's been decent on the mic too. On the little bits I've caught from him, he can hold his own on the mic. So I'm a little disappointed because after watching 205 Live, there, spoiler alert, Austin Aries won the cruiserweight #1 contendership again. So we're going to see that again at Payback.
Well, I think that's a good good
story to tell. I'm excited because I think it was Neville and Mustafa Ali. They had one match on Raw and one match on 205 Live, and both of them were not like barn burners, but they were good physical matches.
Yeah, and I liked how Neville when he had Mustafa Ali, he teased doing the red arrow and said, nope, I'm going to go do the submission hold. So
Yep.
I like that that's part of the Neville gimmick now is like, I'll only bust out the red arrow when I absolutely need it. And so when he doesn't need it, he just goes to the submission. So I like that little aspect of Neville. Yeah.
Fucking spot monkeys.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
Change the subject.
All right, let's talk NXT TakeOver. This was an awesome show. That's a quick fade out, but it was very, very good. But there were some. I'm going to be a little nitpicky here, just because it's a podcast and that's what we do. But but overall, a great show. The three-way Gargano, or that's from NXT TV. What the fuck am I talking about?
Damn, way back machine.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to bring up from NXT TV was Cassius Ohno eliminating the Drifter. The loser leaves NXT match. So there's the rumors are going around that Drifter is working under a mask now. So that's kind of a fun, interesting.
As long
story.
as he comes out with the guitar on his shoulder with the mask on,
he should be exactly the same, and then now be like the Wanderer or something.
Do that Hulk Hogan shit when you just put on the mask.
I am not Hulk Hogan,
Yes,
brother.
Yes, I. You know what I want? I want El Generico to get drafted to SmackDown or something like that, and or something, or Sami Zayn to same thing, win a loser leaves town match, and then come back as El Generico. That would be amazing. Okay, NXT Takeover. It was Sanity versus Roderick Strong, Ty Dillinger, Ruby Riott, and the big surprise Cassius Ohno. Sorry, Jose, you're off the show.
Disappointed.
So-
I was disappointed.
You didn't like the addition of Ohno.
I'm not sad about it, but he hasn't impressed me in the few little matches that I've seen. I know his independent work, and he's got to have time to build. Why throw him into this match when you had a perfect build-up with No Way Jose, who honestly has been looking good in singles or tag matches that I've been watching? So it was sad to have him taken out right before the big show.
I hear you there if you're a No Way Jose fan. So
He's the perfect WWE superstar.
yeah, I didn't mind Ohno being added into it. I liked it because
The gear looked better.
He's got the new gear. He's not tucking in the jersey into his trunks anymore, which is a positive. And to me, he feels like a bigger star already than No Way Jose.
yeah.
So I didn't have a big problem with it. I just kind of felt bad for Jose. But a really fun match. Ruby Riott looked awesome, even though she's got the Zack Ryder tights from back in the day.
Oh yeah, vintage.
She pulls it off, though, a lot better than Zack Ryder did. Killian Dane getting the big win with the one-winged angel. He calls it something else. I pointed out on Twitter, NXT guys are stealing New Japan guys' moves. And somebody was like, Dane's been doing it for years. And I'm like, well, fucking Kenny Omega probably stole it from him.
That son of a bitch.
So, but yeah, what's his name? Nigel McGuinness said the name of the move a couple of times, and I still didn't catch it.
That's
But,
something I can bring up too. Killian Dane looked awesome in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
He he wasn't going to win, but like he threw a couple people out and he took on some of the big boys. He didn't look like a rookie. Honestly, Bing looked like a rookie.
Yeah. Ho loon.
Yeah.
Were there any shave your back chants at WrestleMania?
I don't think I heard any. There weren't really many chants during the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. They're still getting beer in them.
Yeah, people weren't probably in the stands yet.
At $12 beers.
Hey, look, they're showing that appearance by Nakamura.
But yeah, I like the opening match. I like that. I like Sanity getting a win here. Just showing that, and Big Dane getting the push.
Well, and if Ty's going to SmackDown full time, it just can push No Way Jose right back into that feud. Too.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The heat goes back onto Jose because he got taken out of the match. So now you can build up a big match between Jose.
I'm still not
and
sold
Dane.
on Sanity though.
Really, you're not in on the Sanity. thing.
I like.
God, way to
I like
hate
their.
good.
I like their in-ring work. I can't remember his name. The hardcore dancing dude. He is a lot of fun to watch when he gets really riled up and
Can't
going
think of
in
his
a
name
match.
either now.
Clash of the Titus.
Probably haha Clinton Dix.
He does that one thing I can't figure out.
What is your submission hold?
But
I love the fucking chaos in the ring that they bring. Fucking Nikki running around, biting the ropes. Fucking just
Like I said, the
crazy
ring work
face
is
on
great. I'm just not digging on the character.
Oh, I love it.
The
You're
group.
stupid.
You're stupid.
then we had Andrade Cien Almas taking on Aleister Black. I apologize. Last week, for some reason, I was pronouncing his name Alistair or something, and the name is spelled like Aleister, something like that. So that's probably why for some reason I had the wrong pronunciation in my head. So it's Aleister Black, Cien Almas. This was a fun match. A debut for Black. He had the cool lights out entrance. We've got a lot of lights out entrances now.
I feel
in
like
NXT.
him and Corbin need to switch characters straight up.
That's probably not a bad idea. But I did like the entrance, and just the way he worked in the ring. I enjoyed.
Very hard fought fight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, for a debut though, it was almost too competitive, and I have these big dreams for Almas and Los Ingobernables USA in my
Ever
head.
since Daivari mentioned that.
And that's to me, that took away from the match, and it shouldn't have, because this was a really good match. And so just because I had these dreams of these bigger things in my head, so that took away from the match for me. But a lot of people really liked the match. I thought it'll be better, I think, once we get Aleister Black on TV, just getting some wins in some squash matches so we can get more familiar with what he's supposed to look like as a dominant wrestler, as opposed to being in a back and forth battle with Almas here. But he does.
They need to keep
get the
that
win.
steam on him though, on Almas. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It was great. I liked it, and I hope they keep feuding. I hope it kind of continues on.
Yeah, I was really hoping for Almas to do some sort of attack after the match again. Los Ingobernables USA, something along those lines would have been cool. But it's not horrible. You can do something on TV, and hell, you can move Almas onto doing something completely different too. So it was fine. Then it was DIY versus the Revival versus Authors of Pain. This was, man.
Oh, man.
I think a lot of people had low expectations going into this match, and so that's why it just felt awesome. But my God.
I had high expectations, and it was a fucking amazing match. And I loved the finish.
Well, it was great because, my God, fucking the spots where DIY and Revival were teaming up reluctantly and whatever. It was just so cool,
right?
With the spot where they powerbomb the guy through the table. One guy's not enough, then we get two guys, and that's not enough. And we got to get the Revival to kick him down there. But then immediately the other fucking Author of Pain started beating everybody up again. So now it's not working out, and then. One of the Revival gets him in a submission. Gargano comes in like, I better break this up. No, wait, I don't want to break it up. I want to help submit the guy. And then they each get the submission holds. And then when they fucking trade off and doing each other's finishing moves.
Yeah, one on each side.
The strange bedfellows thing. That was awesome. Just so much cool stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Then DIY get eliminated, and then the crowd immediately is like, fuck. No. And the way they got eliminated too, it was like one of the Revival guys got cocky for a second. It's like, nah, I got this shit. Nope, didn't work out. DIY got eliminated. Oh shit. Now it's Authors of Pain. They're just gonna whoop our asses. That's what happened. Authors of Pain get the win. Just fucking 4.25 star. Awesome match. Very fun.
My wife could quote me on this when they pinned DIY, and I heard the crowd just, they were done like already. I just went, fuck you, right on the TV. Because I was so pissed off. I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. Authors
Sorry.
of Pain are, I like them every fucking week. They're doing everything right for me.
Yeah, for green guys that are coming up or whatever, they're looking good.
It's a good way to make them look dominant.
It helps when you're in there with DIY and Revival, and they're doing everything in their power, taking all four of them to even get a chance against you. So that just builds them up and makes them look so powerful. It's exactly what they did in the women's match with Nia Jax. It took all three women ganging up to get her out, and then same thing with the Authors of Pain.
That's the thing with the wrestling business. Let's be honest. It's not about what your skill is in the ring. It's about what the story you can tell in that ring is.
Yeah.
And it's just that they're doing everything right. Look at go all the way to Raw. Look at Braun Strowman, his fucking role he's been doing these last couple months. He's been fucking killing it. Are these guys great wrestlers by any means? No. But then you look at Nia Jax, and you're like, the fuck? So it's just like, what story are you telling in that ring? Focus on your ring skills, sharpen them up. At the same time, you need to work on you too.
Right. You have to work on improving, and you have to be put in the right spot, and feature the positive thing. What's good, and then focus on that, and don't focus on the negative, and on and on.
It's just like even when they're just having straight on, 1 or 2-on-2 tag matches, they're not really giving us anything to hate on.
I'm very interested in the buildup of heavy machinery. We got those guys. We got those guys on last week's NXT TV. Their big re-debut or whatever you want to call it. They're basically just two big hosses, a lot like Authors of Pain.
Shakaloo.
But presented in a fun babyface format. So it'll be fun to build them up to face Authors of Pain or whatever. So I think that'll be cool. Then we had the women's match. Ember Moon versus Asuka for the women's title. Again, I gave this one 4 stars. Asuka winning with a kick to the face after shoving the referee into Ember Moon on the top rope, going for her, possibly going for the Eclipse submission. So we have cocky Asuka, the video packages going into this. Very fun stuff from Asuka. And then the heelish stuff to end to get the win, to sneak the win out at the end of the match. So we'll obviously get some sort of rematch. There's going to be, Regal's going to come in and be like, there's going to be consequences and repercussions because we have a babyface in charge, thank God. So
last game of the year, Tommy. You can't hold anything back.
So I'm looking forward to that. Talk about how you felt about this match.
It was fun. I mean, I was actually a little bit scared for Ember Moon, just because being on this is the big show. Asuka's very experienced. She's been through multiple takeovers. I think she's mid-30s if I remember correctly. So she's got well over the experience challenge. But Ember, they both made each other look good in the match.
And this has been a match. It's something that I think Asuka hasn't had an opponent she could dance with in such a long time. It's been, the Peyton
James.
It's been the Peyton Royces, since Mickie James, basically. And even Mickie James, her style doesn't mesh well with someone like Asuka.
No.
So the styles matched up really well between these two, and I thought Ember Moon showed that she could hang, and I'm really looking forward to more matches between these two. And Ember Moon, she still needs a lot of work, kind of in the promo department on the mic, like they did that contract signing thing in Regal's office last week on the TV show, which
be honest, no contract signing is ever good.
Come on, there's been some decent ones, but that one was not very good, and Ember Moon didn't come across as very authentic in it either. So
she's someone who should stay mysterious, though. She has the fucking goofy eyes. Her name's Ember Moon. Fucking the promos are all creepy and kind of eerie. Like, who is this?
And Ember starts a fire, guys.
She should probably get a projector and put like some bugs in the ring or something.
Yeah, that
would get over really.
I'm more
big,
of an earthworm guy.
They showed Drew McIntyre in the crowd, Drew Galloway, who was all over Evolve and a bunch of other indie stuff over the weekend. He actually had to pull out of a big...
safest method.
A big WWN... there was a big WWN Super Show or something that he was supposed to be in a multi-person match that he had to pull out of. So, again, doing the safe thing there. But sounds like he's going to be an NXT guy, not going to the main roster, but coming in and working NXT. And also, I'm assuming, since it's NXT, part of the developmental system, once they get that UK show going, I could see him being a big part of that show, helping get that going. So, looking forward to seeing him back.
It'd be fun.
And I dig the old Drew McIntyre music too.
Right.
Let's get some of that going again, and don't put no fucking hip rock or whatever.
Hick hop.
Why are you talking about Hickox?
Don't put any of that on there. Main event, awesome. Nakamura versus Bobby Roode. It was really to tell a story that Bobby Roode is the fucking man. Bobby Roode, it was Nakamura selling for Bobby Roode, just making Bobby Roode look like $1 million. Bobby Roode wins with his middle rope glorious DDT. Very slow build. Roode's working on the leg. Nakamura comes back with arm locks and triangles and all that stuff. He hits the glorious DDT after a low blow by kicking the rope. That gets you near fall. Rude goes after the bell. The ref takes it. He's just go ahead, disqualify me. Disqualify me then. So Nakamura Kinshasa counters one of his spine busters for a near fall. But in the end, it is Bobby Roode staying NXT champion. And of course, by now we know we saw Nakamura debut on SmackDown. So what'd you think of this match?
I didn't mind the story. The match itself, I was underwhelmed. It just made me think Nakamura was kind of a bitch when it comes down to it.
Ouch.
And
harsh.
I've just soured on it. Like, and I love Bobby Roode, but like, it just watching some of Nakamura's earlier matches, you can see he can be way more intense than that.
Yeah, I'm with you on the actual quality of the match, but the reason they did that is because of what happened,
and that's why I can't be too mad. And
right.
The finish, the second rope DDT they did, I love that. That was good. That was a fun way to finish the match. But I was overall underwhelmed.
Yeah, because my prediction going in was have Nakamura win in a Nakamura match, and then he could go up to the main roster and relinquish the title or whatever. So that was kind of my idea going into it. But they went the other way and said, you know what? Do the right thing on the way out, put over the champion, put over the guy that's got to stay here. And so
makes sense.
I don't have a problem with that either. But yeah, it did take away from the fan experience of wanting to see Nakamura, have a more even match or just look dominant. And he didn't look dominant. He looked like Bobby Roode had his number. And in the end, in that match, he did. So Taco, any other thoughts on that match?
No, it's just cool. I feel like what you're saying with like Nakamura winning the champion and then going to main roster, I still feel like that's what they're going to do with Asuka, because besides Ember Moon, it's either Ember Moon was the championship or who.
I have heard a lot of people speculating that they think Asuka is soon to go to the main roster. I don't think she is. Just because they have her advertised for a lot of the upcoming NXT stuff.
But she's been touring with SmackDown too.
Okay, so yeah, well, there's that. So.
It's just like who on the women's division can really put on a decent performance with her at this point. We've seen the Liv. Or fucking, I can't even think of their names right now. Like Liv Morgan and Peyton Royce. We've seen all their matches already. We know her and Ember Moon are going to put on a clinic, but I kind of want to see her just kind of kick in Regal's door and just be like, "There's a shakeup. Here's the belt. There's no competition for me here."
I'm very excited for the women's division just because Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross. Those are two matchups. I mean, either of them two versus Asuka, I would look forward to. And then again, coming this summer, I'm assuming around the same time as the Cruiserweight Classic, but who knows?
Right.
I heard it was May, the last I heard, but that's certainly not summer. But the women's tournament coming is going to bring in a lot of interesting talent. So
see, that's what with that around the corner, kind of going to my thing last week is that. To me, it would work with her just saying, there's no one for me to face on this roster anymore, forfeit the title, go to the main roster, and kind of do with what they did when Paige, won the championship, put on a big tournament for it again, and, you're going to be able to bring in make a new star out of the tournament.
They could crown the new champion at the tournament.
Give a nod to the women's, kind of give a history lessons with the women's division.
Only problem then is you got to put all your current NXT women in the tournament, which might take up spots from other indie people. But then again, if they're having trouble finding indie people, and again, the same problem with the Cruiserweight Classic, everybody thought Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre were going to win. Those guys didn't sign, so that would also take away from that problem.
It's definitely really fun to see, which women they bring out for this match too, because even being as deep as we are in the wrestling world, that's still the weakest division, across the board is the women. We got like the Candice LeRae's that pop up, Mandy Leon. We know like the Ring of Honor women, but kind of going outside of that, it's kind of far in between. And there's Victoria. Yeah, she owns a bar in Illinois. So, but it's really going to be fun to see who they dig up for this match, and I'm kind of hoping we see maybe at least one woman from Lucha to come in. That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe some Katrina,
right?
Maybe some oh God, who's
the blonde-haired bitch?
No,
Damn it! Still did it.
No, Ivelisse. Ivelisse is one of my favorites from Lucha Underground.
Nice.
Not Sexy Star.
No.
Not. I guess Mary Post is supposed to be pretty decent, but she hasn't shown much on Lucha Underground.
But yeah,
there's definitely some names.
Depending on whose contracts there.
That's the thing is Lucha Underground's got the exclusive TV contract. So unless those guys are out. Done with their contracts, they wouldn't be able to go.
Whose contracts are up, but at the same time, too, it's smart for Lucha to let one of their women go to that because it's going to bring eyes over to their business too.
It would, but unfortunately,
WWE ain't having that.
The contracts are what they are, and Lucha Underground. It's like they got the second half of the season that doesn't start till the end of this month or whatever it is, and that's supposed to go how many more 20 some odd, 40 some odd episodes, whatever it is. So, and if the contracts don't go by a specific period of time, it goes by until the series is done airing, which is why Ricochet can't do anything TV related in the United States. He's only on the pay-per-views and on stuff in Japan and on indies and stuff. So
I just have a feeling we're going to see one of those girls make her way into the contest somehow because WWE has that stupid money. So
yeah, that's true. Well,
money speaks.
I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, we're going to get some stars out of this.
What'd you guys think about the new NXT Championship belts?
I like them.
I want to come on them so bad.
Again, I like the look. The tag belts to me, the old ones were the best. I like the new ones. I'm not, me. I'm not a fan of like the logo being the biggest part of the belt. So the big X in the middle doesn't do a lot for me, but I like the overall design that it actually looks like a championship belt, not some big, like the NXT championship before was just
tacky,
big, clunky looking, looks like a plastic toy kind of a thing.
Right.
So I'm glad that they look like championship belts now.
Bobby Roode came out at the NXT championship. My wife was watching and goes, "Oh wow, that belt's really nice." And then they get into the ring and they're like, "Oh, there's a brand new one." First time she comments on anything on NXT, and it fucking goes away.
Yeah, no, I like that they. If you look at the tag belts, they still have that gold and black look to them. So I like that they hinted that in there. And then I do like the women's and the main championship now. They're doing the WWE thing. They look similar too. So I like that too.
All right, I did want to change the subject and talk a little bit of Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, but as you guys know, but maybe the other part of the audience doesn't know, I do have another podcast now where I talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Now, there was a New Japan show this week that I have not watched yet, so I'm going to get to watching that, and I'll talk about that on Strong Honor. You can find Strong Honor.
Are you telling me I'm ahead of you on New Japan right now?
Did you watch this week's, today's, the one that was out today?
Oh, yeah, I worked today.
Nice. I was actually, I was going to watch it today, but I was like, well, I got the Flow Slam thing. I should probably watch some of this Evolve stuff from the WrestleMania weekend in case that comes up on the show. So I was watching, and I spent the money. I might as well watch it. So I was going to watch the New Japan, but I was like, I'll wait. I'll watch the Evolve stuff for now. So congratulations for being ahead of me for once. That's awesome.
That's weird.
But we'll talk about that on Strong Honor, but I do want to talk a little bit of Ring of Honor here. But before I get into Ring of Honor, I forgot to bring up the fact that we talked about it right away. The Undertaker's last match, main event of WrestleMania. They brought back good old JR.
Yes, sir.
Recently, his wife passing away, so such a feel-good story for him. So I'm glad that he's back. Great opportunity for him. Sounds like it's a 2-year deal, and that's awesome. Good for him. Questions about, is he still going to be able to do the Access TV thing? One thing we didn't talk about news-wise yet is that New Japan, the tickets went on sale for their July 1st and 2nd shows.
Were on sale,
and they were sold out in 15 minutes. So, and
you want tickets? Start sucking.
All the speculation is that those shows are probably going to be live on Access TV. Which would be awesome. Live New Japan in the United States on TV. That would be really cool. So the question is JR still going to be able to do that? Now, I tie this in with the whole Mauro Ranallo thing, and a lot of speculation coming out between tweets and Mauro's friends. Fucking Boss Rutan went off on JBL on Twitter. JBL is a known bully.
Oh, yeah.
Mauro Ranallo is known for his bouts of depression, being bipolar. You combine those two things together, and it's an explosive situation, an ugly situation, and we have what we have now. And the fact that WWE probably saw this coming way back in whenever, January, whenever it was, when they started adding Tom Phillips to the announce booth, having that 4-man announce booth. To me, it's shameful. Like, I don't ever want to come on a show and be like, why the fuck does a guy still have a job? He should be fired. That's not me. But fucking JBL, he doesn't need this job. He's, he has his moments where he's kind of funny, but mostly it's just like this voice of Vince McMahon on commentary. I don't know why he still has a job in 2017 when he's fucking bullying a guy basically out of the company.
Especially since WWE has a giant fucking campaign of be a star anti-bullying. It is really heartbreaking that you did your time, you did your work for the WWE, but they brought in one of the best voices for commentating, and he could be anywhere in the world, and he wants to be with WWE. His heart is with pro wrestling. Big MMA fan, big MMA supporter. Wrestling is number one in that guy's heart, and he's finally at the top of the business. And it is definitely heartbreaking to hear that.
Well, and it all stemmed from, or it started with the beginning of the year. The Wrestling Observer puts out their awards, and Mauro Ranallo won Commentator of the Year.
Yep.
So, and then JBL gave him hell for it, and on, and whatever. So, here's how I want to spin this positive. Let's get Mauro back on Access TV, calling New Japan, have him call that thing live on July 1st and 2nd from Los Angeles on live TV. Him and Josh Barnett were so awesome together. So, I'd love to see Mauro back in WWE, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think it's Mauro's fault at all. And that's the most unfortunate thing. Yeah, it's awful.
I feel like it's going to fall on Mauro because WWE can't and they won't let him go, fire him for something like this. It's just the publicity on something like that would not be good at all.
Right, but I don't think we'll ever see him back, though.
Right. If not, I would love to see him on Raw. I really think Raw would be a better environment. He could teach Corey Taylor.
It's the same thing.
But he could, he could. There's so much he could teach, all the young bucks on Raw right now.
And him and Corey Graves are so good together.
And what's his name? Tom Phillips. I thought he actually did good at WrestleMania, and he's
I don't want to take anything away from Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips does a fine job.
We gotta be realistic, kind of with what's going on in the future. Is it looks like Michael Cole is going to be taking a step back eventually.
Sure, he's
kind of working Tom Phillips into that role to take over for him. So I really feel like Mauro would be better on Raw. There's more for him on Raw.
Speaking of the power of positivity, I like that idea because him and Graves are good together.
Great.
Byron Saxton is who he is, so he's not going to face any kind of bullying from JBL in that situation.
JBL's going nowhere. Let's give it a year. Nigel's going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah,
he's not going to take no shit from JBL. He can talk right back to him. He's like, bloody hell, Ring of Honor. We fucking, it's just WWE. They're not going to let him go. They're not going to fire him. If they do part ways, it is going to be, a mutual respect, I believe, on Mauro's end.
Congratulations, Taco, for spinning the positive even more so than I did. Because if he ends up on Raw with Corey Graves, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's just amazing. That's going to be the best thing that Raw could do. It's give it some time.
Superstar shakeup.
Superstar shakeup. Exactly.
They've traded. That's something they did in the past.
It's look at all the superstars they've helped. In the past, whether they're on contract. Just had a fucking cup of cappuccino with the WWE. They still reach out and they still offer their support. For drugs, alcohol. All that stuff. So fuck yeah, they're gonna help. Mauro. He's part of the WWE family. So
I really hope so.
Now
that you said that, that's like my number one thing I hope that happens on the Superstar shakeup. So
Mauro to Raw.
Mauro to Raw.
Hashtag Mauro to Raw.
Yeah, let's get it going, get it trending. Hashtag Mauro to Raw. Good luck with that.
Hashtag Shaq is fat.
Hashtag the best.
All right, let's get into some Ring of Honor.
Change the subject. Listen up, wrestling fans.
It was Supercard of Honor. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit NXT there. Supercard of Honor, April 1st.
Revival shit there.
The night before WrestleMania. I'm not going to run over the whole card, but the opening match, Adam Cole versus Marty Scurll.
Oh, I didn't know it was the opening match.
That was the opening. That was the curtain
That's
jerker.
a great way to start the show.
TV title match, two heels, two very popular heels, but a fun match. Talk about what you guys thought about this one.
Super technical, really hard. Again, another hard-fought fight. And the thing with these two is they've both got their spots. You got Marty Scurll with the snapping of the fingers.
Yeah.
You got Adam Cole.
3 times in the match.
You got Adam Cole faking the super kick just to kick him in the face again multiple times. It was a lot of fun.
Well, two untrustworthy heels. At one point, Adam Cole goes after the umbrella. Marty grabs the belt, and they're like at a standoff. And the ref's just like, "Put it down! Stop it, you guys!" So that was fun. And then towards the end of the match, Adam Cole has the belt, and the referee's telling him, "Put it down, put it down. Yeah, I'll disqualify you." He throws the belt off to the side. The referee has to get the belt. Marty Scurll fucking just slams him in the face with the umbrella, busting it into a million pieces. And then Scurll. What is right after he hits that, what the hell? Oh, they fucking hit each other with like 10 fucking pile drivers in the match.
Yes.
So Cole hits the package pile driver as an ode to Kevin Owens in the match. Scurll hits the snap pile driver, and then right after the umbrella spot, he hits another tombstone pile driver.
I was about to say.
The Gotch, that's right,
Yep.
the Gotch pile driver. It was Cole that went for the tombstone pile driver, but didn't have like the leg strength to
Fucked
do
it up twice.
to get back up and do a second one. But yeah, it was the Gotch pile driver followed by the
chicken wing.
the crossface chicken wing to get the tap out win over Adam Cole. So again, big speculation. Adam Cole's contract up at the end of the month. Is he going to re-sign? Is he going to go? Probably going to go. But again, putting over Marty Scurll in a fun, competitive heel matchup was
making
cool.
this chicken wing look strong too.
Yep.
Like I fucking love that he's using that move so much. I feel like this is one of those matches that someone in our shoes is going to be watching. 6-7 years down the road. Like I was just fucking tearing up Claudio blah blah against Bryan Danielson.
Right.
Yeah, people appreciate those matches back in the day, but now they're like, fuck, we missed something special.
I'm going to talk about the finger breaker spot here because it's an interesting point that I heard on I heard the Wrestling Observer guys talking about this. It's something that should be sold more. Like I get he does it on every show and that's fine. Do it at house shows, whatever. But on TV, it's almost like one of those things that you should only do like very rarely. Either that or like everybody that you do it to, just have them sell the fuck out of it and then like have to have like their fingers taped up for like a month after. And so like you'll have all these wrestlers walking around with their hands taped up because they had a match with Marty Scurll. So they brought that up on there and I thought that was funny that you could have like, because Scurll had 5 matches, he broke 5 guys' fingers, you got 5 other guys walking around with with their fingers taped up just because they sell it for a while. So I thought that would be a fun way to do it if people actually started selling the finger. But everybody just kind of no-sells it. It happens and then they just move on. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I like it when he does just the one and then he even sells it like, oh, that was fucking just disgusting.
Right, when
he
sells it himself,
but when he just
gets a little sick,
did it like 3 times in a row, and Adam Cole's is like, I kind of took it away, man. Like,
well, that's the thing. They do the finger breaker 3 times. They hit each other with a million pile drivers, which somewhere Jim Cornette is screaming. So didn't talk about the Hall of Fame at all, by the way.
Didn't watch it.
Watched all 3 hours and 48 minutes of it.
It's long. It is what it is. I enjoyed it, though.
I had a lot of fun. It's the first one I've ever watched. I've never even watched on the Cut Down USA version.
Okay, I've watched several of these now, so I always enjoyed them.
I felt like DDP ate up a lot of time for people.
Well, DDP went long. Beth Phoenix went long. Kurt Angle at the end, whatever. But I tweeted out in all caps, I love Beth Phoenix. Just 'cause
she was amazing.
She's just so genuine and just, you know.
Well, and she almost lost it at the beginning when they're screaming one more match at her, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you know, I wasn't even in the WWE technically even that long compared to some women, but just her dominating fashion and how adorable she was. I don't even care
What
that
a
it's
week
a
it's
wrestling
been.
podcast.
So much to talk about.
She was fucking adorable.
Yes, I agree. All right, back to Ring of Honor. I want to talk about Jay Lethal versus Cody in a Texas bull rope match. I didn't get a chance to show this one to you guys, but
I know my only question was Dusty proud?
Dusty was very proud. This was so fucking old school. Yes. Two guys brawl. Okay, so Lethal comes out first, right? He's got a cowboy hat on.
Good start.
Fucking T-shirt that says, "I'm the franchise of Ring of Honor." Jeans tucked into cowboy boots.
Some Shawn Michaels shit.
Knee pads on the outside of the jeans.
Nice.
White knee pads.
That's a classic
So the
look.
fucking classic Texas bull rope match look. Then Cody comes out. He's got he's got a pair of blue Wranglers on with the W on the ass or whatever. He's got one of his pants leg tucked into the boots. It looks like he's got Dusty's old boots on, which is awesome. So he's got that on. He's got the bandana tied around one of his legs, Cody does.
Nice.
And then Cody has a T-shirt that says, "Lethal sucks eggs." Throwback to fucking Terry Funk in the 70s. So this match was so cool, so old school. Cody bleeds after a cowbell to the head, and then he gets pulled into the ring post with the bull rope. So again, getting a little color here, but just old school. I love it. Lethal up top. Cody pulls him down onto a chair at one point. Lethal goes for the lethal injection, but then Cody just pulls the rope, and Lethal lands on his head. Cody goes looking for stuff under the ring. He finds his old handsome Cody face mask, dashing Cody Rhodes face mask thing, throws that to the side. Fuck with that, we don't need that. Goes back under the ring and pulls out a chair. Cody gets a figure 4 on Lethal. Lethal escapes by hitting him with the cowbell. Jay signals that he's going to go for the Macho Man elbow. Cody slams Lethal through a table that's on the floor from the top rope. Cody hits a low blow, then the disaster kick, then Crossroads, gets only a 2 count. Then after Lethal does end up getting the win with the lethal injection, but just fucking brawling throughout the match. I went over the highlights of the spots and stuff, but most of it's just fucking brawling and a rope and a cowbell and fucking jeans.
Right.
It was just awesome. After the match, Lethal extends his hand to Cody in a sign of respect, and Cody's just standing there. He's holding the bull rope with the bell. And before the match, on TV leading up to it, Cody cut this promo about, we've got this bell in our family that goes back to the Funks in the 70s, and it's been in the Rhodes family for generations. So he cut that passionate promo in the build up to this match. So after the match, Cody lost. He's standing there clutching at the bull rope, holding it to his chest like it's this prized possession. Lethal extends the hand to him, and Cody hands him the bull rope and the cowbell, and then he leaves.
Damn.
So that was
That's awesome.
just a fun match between those two. So, and a cool middle of the show match. We're going to skip ahead, talk about the main event of the show.
Yeah.
Did get a chance to show this one to you guys. Again, the Hardys having a fucking banner weekend. The Hardys defend their Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships versus the Young Bucks in a ladder match. It starts off hot with "fuck that owl" chants from the crowd. So the crowd is in on the issues with TNA. I mentioned I had a TNA rant in me. Taco, you
Get
kind
some
of
water in there.
I'm down to my last sip too.
Gotta get ready.
Taco, you brought it up earlier how fucking it's WrestleMania weekend. Every promotion worth their weight or whatever has a show. Fucking British companies, Progress had shows, Rev Pro, everybody had shows WrestleMania weekend. TNA tapes TV in fucking Orlando.
Impact Wrestling.
WrestleMania came to them. No show. Fucking they had the Hardys. The Hardys fucking sold out this Lakeland Center an hour away from WrestleMania. The biggest crowd in Ring of Honor history in a main event with tag teams with the Broken Hardys. TNA just does not Impact Wrestling, the Owl, Anthem, whatever you want to fucking call it. They're afraid of making money. They
hate it.
They
Hate
do not
money.
want to make money. the Observer, again, talked about what the plan was between these two. They were going to go back and forth. The Hardys were going to win the Ring of Honor titles, and then the Bucks were going to win the TNA titles, and they were going to go back and forth, co-promote this thing. And it was going to go all summer, all year. They were going to make money for both companies, but Jarrett didn't get it, doesn't get the Hardys, doesn't know how to make money, doesn't want to make money, gets rid of the Hardys. So now we get the quick program with the Hardys and Ring of Honor. They do the right thing here, give up the titles to the Bucks, and we move on. But how awesome would that have been? Think about the revival. Think about the revival that Impact Wrestling could have had they kept the Hardys. But no, they got to be petty. They don't get it, so they let them go. And then like, well, no, you can't do your gimmick over there. We're gonna threat legal action, and maybe you won't make any money either because we don't know how to make any money. So fuck TNA, fuck Jeff Jarrett, fuck Impact, fuck that owl.
They're doing everything wrong.
And good for the Hardys for making money and doing good for themselves, getting back with the E.
Good for the Hardys, good for Bobby Roode, good for Drew Galloway, good for fucking AJ Styles,
Samoa Joe.
Good for Samoa Joe, good for Kurt Angle,
right?
Oni Lorcan.
It's just you're good for Xavier Woods.
Yeah,
he could have been a fucking beast in TNA. They fucked up so bad. It's how do you recover from this? How many times are you going to make EC3 a champion before he ends up in NXT?
Well, he came from NXT too, and yeah, they did what they did with him.
Yeah, Oh No came back.
Oh no!
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
So Hardys versus the Bucks. Jeff takes a pendulum ladder to the face and a 450 splash from the top rope through a table on the floor. The Hardys swing slam, do an inverted wheelbarrow through a ladder on one of the Young Bucks. It's insane. It's a Young Bucks ladder match. You can't. Talking about the spots does not do it justice.
It is a dream match.
It literally is. It was amazing. This match blew away the WrestleMania thing. This ladder match was not as good as the Ladder Wars from last year, but still, a fucking amazing.
Well, it was amazing
match.
that they didn't. The Young Bucks weren't even. The Bucks of Youth weren't even doing like their typical spots too in the ladder match, like they were doing in that Ladder War match. We didn't really see any of like the Meltzer drivers or any of those kind of moves.
Well, there's too much shit in the ring though with all the ladders.
Well, they were doing that the last one though.
Yeah.
What is it? Nate Jackson. He does Nick. He does the jump over the ropes and the X-Pac slam. Then he'll jump and do a backflip out of the ring onto the other guy. We did get that spot in this ring. It's like, and he does that just for fun.
Well, the Bucks were too busy taking giant bumps through tables. Because they did such a good job protecting the Hardys. I mean, the Hardys had to go out at WrestleMania, and fucking Jeff did that fucking 40-foot ladder bump off the thing onto another ladder. But the Hardys didn't have to take a ton of crazy bumps. The Young Bucks took all the crazy bumps in the match. Not that saying that the Hardys didn't take a few. I mean, Jeff did that one flip dive onto the floor where he damn near missed the table and took it all on his back. So there was some stuff that the Hardys took in this. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it was the Bucks selling for the Hardys and just an insane. I don't want to say typical, but it was an insane fucking Young Bucks match they are.
I remember. Back in my day when I watched Impact Wrestling, I remember when they were Young Bucks were on there. Generation Me, they were fucking terrible. I didn't even want to set my eyes on them. They were just so fucking annoying. I was like, who are these fucking Hardy Boy wannabes? And now watching what they've evolved into today and finally being able to see them fight against the Hardy Boys in a ladder match, you're right. It's a fucking dream come true. That's why we watch this business. It's just these kind of moments. Fucking seeing Hardy Boys put on a fucking awesome match in Ring of Honor Saturday just for us to be fucking surprised Sunday. This is why we watch wrestling, people. So great.
Yep. And again, it's a testament to what greatness can come of letting talent be themselves and do what they want. The Young Bucks and the Hardys are probably the greatest example of that. And both WWE and especially Impact could learn a lesson from just let the talent fucking do what they want to do. I mean, obviously there's a limit. You can't let them. you can't let them go insane, but I mean, look what the fucking Hardys did.
Yo.
Look what I mean, but
Literally, you can go insane.
yeah, Impact just doesn't want to make money and
Zero money.
And I think WWE could could improve greatly by lessening the scripting, letting talent, just bring their own personalities to their characters and stop emphasizing so much that these are characters and they're playing a role. And no, let them fucking be part of themselves.
All I know is as long as Jeff Jarrett is heavyweight champion, I'm happy.
Did you know fucking Cody Rhodes just won a Global Force belt in like November?
Well, that's an interesting
fuck.
That's an interesting thing too, because Cody is all over Impact TV too, because his Brandy is like in fucking a program there.
She
guess
just won a championship too.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not watching it and not paying
Not
attention. to
TNA,
it,
some other random promotion.
Okay.
So good for her.
Well, yeah,
she's actually doing
the
something.
Jeff Jarrett stuff is it's interesting because I mean, there's something is tied. He's tied in with this British promotion that's picking up steam, the World of Sport thing or
this
whatever.
popped in my head. Also, good for Sting for leaving TNA too.
There's another one. But then, yeah, Jeff Jarrett's tying in his Global Force stuff with Impact, I guess. I don't know.
They still haven't even played the fucking 12 episodes they supposedly recorded. Half of your fucking talents in WWE now, or fucking, I guess TNA doesn't matter, but like TJP was part of that. WWE now.
But they still have Suicide. That was TJP played that gimmick, but they still have Suicide, and they got Magnus back.
No, I'm talking about Global Force.
Oh,
like TJP was in. Well, how are you going to play episodes now where half of your fucking superstars are in the cruiserweight division or in fucking insane championship wrestling?
They're never going to be able to do anything with that.
Oh God,
it's a waste of time. I mean, he might be able to do something with the brand, but the brand doesn't mean anything either. So it just it is what I feel like I should just put a ban on talking Impact on this show, but it's so fun to bitch about them because they're so easy to pick
That's
on.
what we focus all of our negativity on.
I guess.
It's like our negativity
We are
blanket.
being way too negative, and we've talked way too much. We've had, like I said, there's tons of great wrestling to talk about. So it's like I said,
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
So much to talk about. So that's going to do it for this week. Like I said, check out Strong Honor on thefanspodcast.com or do the look up the Fans Podcast on your favorite podcast app. You look up that feed and look for Strong Honor on there. I'll talk about the entire Supercard of Honor show plus New Japan Road to Sakura Genesis from this week. And we'll preview Sakura Genesis because that's coming up on the 9th. So look forward to talking about that here next week. Follow me on Twitter at Tommy Strikers. That's spell Striker with a Y. Follow the show at BPW Podcast, also on Twitter. You want to send us an email? Go ahead. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Go to the website if you want to. That's bestprowrestlingpodcast.com. Taco, where can people look up dick pics of you?
If you want to find my dick pics, slide in my DM. You can follow me on the Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter at HGREV Taco, and you can follow Joe at
BWCHKABRWNCOW.
That's it. Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Thanks, Taker.
Yes, sir. That's right. Absolutely right. That's right.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
This is my only pair of clothes.
Oh, come on, counselor.
What a delightful chant.